Welcome back, guys. Today we will be recapping the anime called Dororo. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos. With a spoiler warning, let's start. A lord is about to have his first child. He goes to a temple named the Hall of Hell to make a pact with the demons. A priest tries to stop him, but he's determined to make the deal because his county is in a constant state of famine and epidemics. The priest warns him about the consequences, but the Lord doesn't care about what happens to him. He kills the priest, and Lord Daigo calls upon the 12 demons and makes a deal with them. If the demons protect his land and let him rule, the Lord will give anything of his to them. The demons respond by striking the temple with lightning. The Lord's child is born, but the baby with no limbs, eyes, nose, or skin. Yet it's still alive. Daigo realizes that the demons took his child in exchange for the deal. He gives the child to the midwife to kill it. But the midwife shows the child mercy and puts it on a boat instead of drowning it. She gets killed by a monster immediately. A blind old man kills the demon and senses the child with a curse on it. After some time, Daigo Kagemitsu's land prospered through the deals with the demon. 16 years later, the land of Kadai is in a constant state of war. There's no peace. A kid named Dororo is trying to sell his stolen goods by deceiving people. A gang confronts him and chases him. After some difficulty, they ambush Dororo and beat him up. The gang leader finally decides to drown him. A mysterious guy looks at something from the broken bridge. His face looks like a doll. The doll-faced guy is preparing for a fight, but not against the gang. Some garbage floating on the river suddenly turns into a massive monster. It swallows the brute whole. The other guys are devoured soon after. The doll-faced man attacks it and saves Dororo. He uses the blades attached to his arm to attack it. The muck monster gets so big that it brings down the bridge with it. The monster washes away. Dororo helps the man attach his arms back. Suddenly, the man starts shaking, and his mask falls off. His skinless face grows back its skin. Meanwhile, Lord Daigo sees lightning strike the temple, breaking one of the demon statues. The Lord has another son and heir named Tohomaru. Hyakkimaru finally gets his face back from the monsters. Dororo decided to follow Hyakkimaru. He is fascinated by Hyakkimaru and his ability without eyes and ears. They catch some fish and talk about things. Dororo realizes that Hyakkimaru can speak, see, hear, or talk. However, Hyakkimaru could see things as blobs since his childhood. Any blob that was a threat to him had a different color. He had superhuman powers to defend himself if needed. Dororo takes Hyakkimaru to the village. There's a monster in the village, and the person to stop it will get a hefty reward. Hyakkimaru sees the monster lurking in the woods. A villager tells them to kill the monster instead of the village chief since she is injured and resting. They spend the night at the villager's house. A monster appears, but Hyakkimaru doesn't move an inch. The next morning, Lady Bandai sent a man to escort them to her house. Lady Bandai injured her legs and is unable to move. Hyakkimaru tries to attack the lady. Dororo stops him and tells him she's a human. The villagers capture them and lock them up. The blind priest is locked with them too. The priest explains how he sees people's souls instead of them. Suddenly, the lights go out. Hyakkimaru attacks something in complete darkness. The monster escapes through the well. The old man and Dororo find out the well led outside in front of the chief's house. They confront the chief. The priest tells her that there's no point in hiding. The monster finally takes its true form. It attacks Hyakkimaru on his shoulder. He slashes the demon's eyes. Her followers trap Hyakkimaru and let the demon escape. The priest confronts the villagers. Turns out they help feed random travelers to them so it would spare them. The monster traps Hyakkimaru with bamboo. A demon distracts the lady and allows Hyakkimaru to slice its face off. The lady transforms back. Hyakkimaru puts a sword through its head. Dororo notices the demon vanishing in thin air. He goes up to it and finds a lot of coins. Turns out the money was from the travelers whom Bandai killed. The villagers are tormented by the first traveler's ghost, so they wanted to get rid of it. The three of them head back. Meanwhile, Daigo is preparing for war. Another demon statue breaks, and Hyakkimaru is in excruciating pain. Jukai was an executioner, serving Lord Shiva. He brutalized the opposition by crucifying them, but one day he had enough and tried to kill himself. A foreign ship saved him, and he decided to live and help the poor. He learns how to make prosthetic limbs to help and possibly atone for his atrocities. He helps the people in a village. Furthermore, he also took in an orphan named Kanami. One day, a lady came for her son. The lady told Kanami about Jukai's past. Kanami confronted Jukai because he served Lord Shiba who killed his father. Jukai begged to let him live until he could help the boy he promised. Kaname left Jukai out of hatred. Devastated by the recent events, Jukai has again lost the will to live. However, he comes across a boat having a skinless, eyeless baby that's still alive. He took the baby in and gave it arms, legs, and a face. The boy grew up and he named him Hyakkimaru. However, the boy would often get attacked by monsters. So Jukai decided to teach him combat. The boy excelled in combat and quickly piled up a mountain of dead monsters. To Jukai's surprise, one day after defeating a monster, he grew his leg back. Jukai geared Hyakkimaru with blades and sent him off on a quest to get his body back. Since the Jukai has been trying to atone for his sins by giving the dead prosthetics limbs, the boys meet a village girl named Osushi, praying for her brother to come back from war. A man severely injured comes to them. Hyakkimaru senses a demon and goes to confront it. They find several dead bodies and a man with a cursed sword, claiming the sword made him kill them. He attacks Hyakkimaru, but he defeats the man using his prosthetic legs. The man falls off a cliff with his sword. Dororo goes to get Hyakkimaru's leg back, but gets possessed by the sword. The girl finds the man who happens to be her long-awaited brother, Tanosuke. He was an executioner for a cruel lord. The lord forced him to kill people with a dull sword. However, the sword turned out to be the cursed blade called Nihiru. Tanosuke killed them all, including the lord, and never stopped killing. Meanwhile, the sword is forcing Dororo to take it to the Phantom Killer. Hyakkimaru attacks Dororo. Tanosuke can feel the cursed blade Nihiru coming to him, but his sister tries to stop him. Tanosuke pushes her away and goes to the blade. Hyakkimaru gets the blade out of Dororo's hands. Tanosuke comes and takes the blade. They get into a fierce battle. Hyakkimaru breaks the cursed sword and kills Tanosuke in front of his sister. He gets his ears back and listens to Osushi crying for her brother. Meanwhile, Daigo is trying to find Hyakkimaru. Hyakkimaru is having a hard time adjusting to sound. Out of nowhere, a bird monster attacks them. Hyakkimaru is having trouble trying to defeat it because of the sounds. The blind priest kills the monster before it could kill Hyakkimaru. Turns out the priest was returning to a town under war. They spend the night in the jungle. Hyakkimaru wakes up hearing a beautiful voice and follows it. He faints in the arms of the girl singing the song. The girl named Mio takes them to her shed to treat Hyakkimaru's high fever. She takes care of many orphan kids by herself. The old man leaves, trying to find a safe way to escape the upcoming war, and finds a shed inhabited by a demon. Meanwhile, Lord Daigo and his land are facing drought and war again. Hyakkimaru has taken a liking to Mio. The priest comes back and tells them about the safe route and the demon. Hyakkimaru and the priest go to kill it. Mio plans to work for the enemies too, since they need more food if they plan to leave. Dororo follows her and finds out she sells herself for food. Meanwhile, the demon eats one of Hyakkimaru's legs. Today's video ends here. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you want the second part of the anime, let me know in the comment section. Until next time, take care.